Ay, ay, ay.
You are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network.
It's a great day in the sports world. What's up to all the sports lovers, the haters, the addicts, and the fanatics out there? This is Larry Patterson with GT365. It's Game Time 365 Sports right here on the GTSN. That's the Game Time Sports Network. I'm a little clear up here. I see my guy Robb. He down there shaking his hands.
The bad guy is back.
He rubbing his
The bad
hands. He
guy is
ready.
back. The bad guy is back. I'm your sports guy's worst enemy. I'm your worst nightmare. Because when I'm around, you go hiding. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey,
How you doing?
What you want to say to me?
You finally get to meet the bad guy for the first time. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy.
That's the bad guy. Well, you better be sweet on my team because I only got one question for y'all.
What's good?
And that's, how about them Cowboys?
Oh yeah, let's wrap. Let's get this going, man. Because I'm ready to go now, man. We got. Actually, I knew it was gonna be some tomfoolery before we start this thing off. I knew it.
Oh man.
10, 3-3 in the division in the NFC East. Missed the playoffs, and the 3 previous years before that they made the playoffs. Dak Prescott, of course, he went out after 8 games with the torn hamstring, tore it right off the bone. So they started the season 3-3, hit the bye week, ended the season 4-7 in those last 11 games. I want to ask the Cowboy man himself, because I know he fired up by now. I know the season didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but in terms of just how did last season go for you, bro?
I mean, you know me, man. At the end of the day, I've cheered for him all my life, but at the same time, I mean, you know how I roll, man. I tell the truth, and if they win, they win. They lose, they lose. You know me. I'll go report for the Raiders. I'll go report for I'll go report for any team out there, because at the end of the day, I want my money. So that's what I care about. But if you want to ask me the secret fan of me inside, what I felt is last year the team just was not ready to play as far as coming into the season. They lost some games that were blowouts. They lost a few games that were close. 7-10 record that could have easily been 9 wins, could have been 10 wins. But this Cowboys team needs to make a change with Coach McCarthy. They were not the same football team I felt like they were when they won to San Francisco, lost that game 19-12. Those next couple of years, I feel like they kind of struggled. I feel like they needed a new voice. Everything I'm hearing out of Cowboys camp is that they are doing things better, that they are more intense, and that's what they need. And the most important aspect of the Cowboys, well, number one, injuries from last year. And they're having some of those issues now in training camp. So they got to get that fixed. But the biggest thing that the Cowboys have addressed this offseason, I think is very important. And besides talking about the wide receivers and the flashy positions, I call them the Ferrari positions. They have addressed the defensive line and the offensive line. And when you do things like that, you set a foundation. Because I don't care what you have in the garage. If you don't have a motor in that Ferrari, I don't care how beautiful it is, it's not going to run. So that's the biggest thing. They addressed our offensive line and got better. Most teams are going to figure out that if you don't have a dominant offensive line, Even look at Kansas City. You know this well, Larry. Kansas City wins championships when their offensive line is intact. But when your offensive line starts to struggle, you're going to start seeing those pieces and those things start to come down a little bit. So the Cowboys have addressed the offensive line. Even my guy, Mr. Washington up there, he's going to see very soon that Pete Carroll's going to set a foundation for that offensive line. It's going to go to the next coach, and that running back they got is going to run for 2K sooner or later. Okay, so what I'm saying is just like you, Larry, your Broncos. What have they done? What have they gotten better at? The offensive line to protect that quarterback. If you don't have an offensive line, you can't protect. They drafted a guy this year in Booker. They got some really good guys on their offensive line. That defensive line has gotten better. They got a 6th or 7th round pick out of UCLA, who we'll talk about later, who might just be the next key piece for that team. So, yes, I think this team is going to be a lot better this year. Do I got them in the Super Bowl? No. Do I have them possibly making a division round? Yes. But this team has filled a lot of holes, and I think they're going to be a lot more physical in 2025. They won't win the division, though. They won't win the division, though.
No, like, I agree with majority of what Rob said, about the trenches on both sides of the ball. I know they extended that Odigizua, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They extended him, gave him a nice contract. Yeah, man, it's like every year you always say, Cowboys fans out there, it's our year. So now I'm seeing it as, okay, you got Dak, you got CD, you paid your key players. The tight end just got paid a few days ago. Ferguson, yeah, there's one guy that still hasn't get paid, which I don't understand why Jerry always dragged this out to the last minute. One day it's going to bite him in the you-know-what eventually. You went and got Pickens. So, yeah, man, now it's like, hey, barring injuries, it's no more excuses. Do I think they'll win a division? Probably not, because there's probably a team that's better than them right now on paper. Huh?
Or two.
It all depends on how you look at it. You can say the Commanders are as well, but that's to TBD. Even though the Commanders had a better season last year, now it's all about just getting the guys healthy. I know our boy Guyton, they had feared it was an ACL, but they said some stuff still intact, so it might be not as devastating as we think it is.
4 to 6 weeks, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, he'll be back 2nd, 3rd game of September if everything goes according to plan, man. But yeah, I think last year was every year is a disappointment for the Cowboys fans when they don't go to the Super Bowl. They've been saying that since 1990, whatever. But this year there's legit no excuses. You got your 4 Arsenal players. Everybody's fairly healthy. Luckily there hasn't been nothing major to come out of camp yet, so. They're having fun. Schottenheimer, he has his work cut out for him. And, let's see this saga between Jerry and Micah. How does it end up playing out? Do he wait until day before the game to sign the contract extension? I mean, or whatever the case may be, or do he wants his way out? We know who his agent is. His agent doesn't play about his client. So, man, I'm curious to see how they shake out in September 7th or September 4th, whenever they kick off.
September 4th.
They got to go into Philadelphia. So
yep.
That's going to be a hostile environment. They coming off, dropping that banner in division, Super Bowl winner. So, yeah, I'm excited to see, what kind of product they put on the field in September.
And let me say this, Amon, man. I think that there are Cowboys fans out there who will say, "Oh, it's our year, it's our year." And I totally get it, I understand it, but I think it's a media thing too, man, because I hear about the Cowboys being a circus, the Cowboys this and that, but every day I turn my television on, what is the first thing I see?
Cowboys got 2 or 3 blocks on every national media outlet there is.
And I have a problem with that because you think about it. We got the same situation going on right now in Cincinnati. Same situation. In fact, if you look at it, Troy Hendrickson is – please don't get mad at me out there, people. You can argue he's a little more valuable than Michael Parsons is right now. Because think about something. Michael Parsons, I'm going to give y'all some Michael Parsons. 2021, we're not talking about sacks here. He's very impactful when it comes to sacks. But 2021, 84 tackles combined. These are combined now. 2022, 65. 2023, 64. He only had 43 combined tackles last year. And this is my problem sometimes. Michael Parsons has a really good motor, and then his motor can go off, especially if you go back and look at him in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying that the Cowboys would trade Michael Parsons, but this is what I'm saying. They have a guy coming back. His name is Sam Williams off an ACL. He's really good. You get Dante Fowler back. They have a legitimate pass rush. Michael Parsons is the catalyst. But my question to you guys is, Michael Parsons is really, really good. But what happens once his speed starts to dissipate a little bit? Can you really rely on him to be that player that is going to do the other things? Because I don't know. So if you're a team out there and you could get Michael Parsons in a trade, what would you give up for him? And could that help the Cowboys? Because we've seen over the last couple of years, guys, some of these so-called superstars have been giving back max value. Look at the Houston Texans. Look what they did with the Deshaun Watson trade. Who was the other team? There are a few other teams. Look at the Eagles. Look what the Eagles did when everybody thought, don't trade Carson Wentz. Look at what they've done. Look at the A.J. Brown trade. Sometimes, and look what the Eagles parlay with that. Sometimes, and they hit that. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But can you guys agree that the Cowboys can get a lot for Michael Parsons if they think, hey, man, we don't think that he's worth this much money? Is he worth it? Yes. But what if they say he's not? What can you get back?
See, go ahead. I'm going to let you answer first, and then I'm going to go ahead and chime in because I have some relative experience with Khalil Mack back in 2018. So I'm going to answer that once you do.
I bet you do. I do too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe a couple seconds that you can get from Michael Parsons.
No, you got to. You've got to get first. You got to get first, and I'm telling you, somebody will pay. Somebody will pay. And
Yes.
It has to be because that's the market we're in. I'm telling you, and the Cowboys could finesse somebody into doing something crazy like that. I'm talking about, man. Larry, let me tell you something right now, brother. Mike Vrabel sitting back right now. Can you imagine the salivation that would come down his mouth if he could somehow get a Michael Parsons in New England? You know what he would give up? Do you know what New England would give up for him? To have him? Because for one reason, and Amon, you know what that one reason is? Josh Allen. That's the only reason, because they know that would strike fear into the Buffalo Bills. Now, would he be successful? We don't know. We just know Cowboys would get back some max compensation. There are a lot of teams out there that will give up those couple of those first-round picks. Now, the one thing Dallas can't do is they can't let him get into a situation where they have to release him and he goes for nothing. So, but that's the only dilemma you have right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say 2-1s. I think I'm right there with Rob. 2-1s max, because I dealt with a similar situation like this back in 2018 with Khalil Mack and leaving Oakland at the time. John Gruden didn't, I don't know what happened with that situation. So I think Khalil Mack and Michael Parsons, they are probably in the same ballpark as trade compensation. So in 2018, the Bears gave up two 1s, a 3rd, and a 6th. That's what that's the ballpark. That's the start. That's the starting price. Then you got to give him 6. So then you got to pay him on top of that. Is he worth it? How old is Michael right now?
24.
24?
Yeah.
You got to. Because Mac was 20, I think he was like 25 at the time. 25 at the time, yeah. So that's the if you're not, you call my phone and you tell me, hey, I'm interested in Michael Parsons. That's what I'm putting on the tape. Hey, I need this. I need 2 1s, probably a 2, and a 6 or something later around, and maybe a player. Plus, you're gonna have to pay him on top. That's what That's what the going rate for him is right now. But I will say, be careful what you wish for. It might not some of the best trades are the trades you don't make. I'm not saying that if Mac not Mac, but Micah goes somewhere else, he's going to have the same impact as he had in Dallas, whatever the case would be. But luckily, we're not going to make it that far. I don't think he gets out of there, not unless he just says, hey, you know what? Y'all been disrespectful. Y'all done paid everybody before, but me. We had this conversation last year, and nothing got done. And he's came out and said, hey, I don't want nothing to distract me during the season. So if we don't get anything done before, opening day, then, hey, come off season, we may have to have some hard conversations. But yeah, if just say, hey, Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or whoever, Cincinnati say, hey, I got this for you right here. Dallas can be like, it might be a hard pill to swallow or whatever the case may be, but that might be best for your organization to, go ahead and get off them and just have extra resources for future drafts.
In 4 playoff games, he has 1 sack. In 4 playoff games, he has 4 sacks. He has 1 sack, 8 tackles, 18 combined. So in the postseason, he turns it up. In the regular season, he just his motor goes in and out. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like you really got to make a decision here because there are going to be some tough decisions coming up in the next couple of years. I mean, you know me, guys. You know how I like to bring up NFL salary cap. Right now the Cowboys are sitting pretty decent with their salary cap. I think right now they have $31 million. Next year, which is 2026, of course, I look down the line. Do you realize, guys, right now the Cowboys right now going to 2026 are behind the Buffalo. The Bills are the first team in the red with negative $4 million, $4.5 million. The Cowboys are second with $5.2 million in the red going into next year.
So that means Trayvon Diggs is bye-bye. This is last.
Exactly. So they're going to make a decision. And let's be very clear. The Cowboys defense did not start getting better until the Washington game after Trayvon Diggs had DaRon Bland. So DaRon Bland is their priority. So what I'm saying is that they're going to have to make a tough decision here because the money's going to have to dry up. And if they would have signed Michael Parsons 2 years ago, they would have been fine. A year ago, they'd been good. If you'd have signed them, you would have saved this year because in 2027, their cap number is at $68 million, which is going to climb because of the NFL money. So, yeah, they got some decisions to make because, and I hate to say it, but it's almost a now or never situation with them.
Rob, by you being a longtime Cowboy fan, you've experienced Jerry and his waiting to sign these players. All these antics. Why do you think is that?
I'm gonna stop you there. I don't think it's antics. You know what I think it is? I think sometimes us as fans don't know the behind the scenes. We look, and this is not just Jerry. This is just the NFL, guys. We see these guys, and they say, "Oh, we look." You look on Forbes, or you look on the internet, and it says, "Oh, the Cowboys, this team is worth this much money. They're worth this much money." Blah blah blah. Do a lot of people realize that teams sometimes with this, they see all this money? That a lot of times they got to move money around. We say, oh, they got billions. No, they really don't. Just because you say you got billions, I mean, you got billions in your bank account. There's money that has to be moved. Some of these owners got to borrow money just to pay their salaries. Like, I think that a lot of times we don't see a lot of the behind-the-scenes things. And do I think that it's Jerry and antics? No, I don't think it's Jerry and antics because I'm going to tell you why. Because just like you, Larry, you're a longtime Yankees fan, right? Let me ask you this, Larry. You're a longtime Yankees fan, right? Who was the most interesting team when a certain owner was alive?
George Steinbrenner.
How interesting have the Yankees been since he died?
Be honest.
Ever since they lost to the Red Sox in the ALCS, which everybody saw, all the greatest comeback of all time. How interesting has that rivalry really been since the curse of Bambino?
Not really. Mine, you a Yankee fan as well, so you can attest to that.
Yeah, I've been telling people this since 2004. I've told people this since 2004. Sometimes, like, and you know what, Amon? He said something that I think is so great. He said, "Be careful." It is the theme of the show. Be careful what you wish for. The media keeps talking about Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones that. Well, how interesting was the NFL before Jerry Jones came? How interesting have they been since he got there? Do you guys realize? Let me ask you guys both a question. How much do you think the Cowboys were worth in 1989 before Jerry Jones bought them? Quick question. Just
200 million, maybe 190 million.
what you think, Larry?
Man, probably about like 200.
Nope. Nope.
Less than that, maybe.
In fact, a lot less. In fact, the Cowboys were a struggling franchise. Struggling.
Damn,
they were only bought for $140 million. They were losing $1 million a month. They couldn't get nothing. Jerry Jones is probably at a $10.1 billion team. And this is what I'm saying, guys. Jerry Jones behind the scenes he's the reason football is back in LA.
Oh, he's one of the key reasons football is back in LA.
He's done a lot of things for the marketing. I want you guys to go back and look at the NFL back then and their marketing, how much players were making and how much players are making now, how much marketing has gone to the league. Guys, there was a time in the NFL in the middle 90s where baseball and basketball were more popular than the NFL. A lot of people don't want to think about that, but Jerry Jones brought the entertainment value. The day that Jerry Jones dies, the NFL loses value. So I don't think it's antics. I just think Jerry Jones I can do whatever the hell I want. Because guess what? When you turn 140 into 10.1 billion, you got the Patriots, another team right here winning the world championship, and they can't even get coverage on television. Why is that? Because the Cowboys are interesting. Listen, if we could all go out here and market ourselves and do stuff like that and make our brand that much bigger, don't you think we would do it, guys? Even if it got on people's freaking nerves.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here?
But down the line, you have to think now you're going to have to pay him 42. You have to pay him 42.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, when you like you said, Rob, you could have got this done 2 years ago.
Maybe he doesn't believe in them as much as the fans believe, and I don't know. I know he paid his guys back in the day. I mean, if you remember, this is nothing new, guys. They're winning championships, and Emmitt Smith had to hold out. They were 0-2 after Chicago.
Then Jerry said, I can't do this 0-3 stuff. Come on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's my point. And you look at the Cowboys, for example. The Cowboys had 2 championships before Jerry. Jerry's got 3. So before Jerry, it was only 2. He got 3. So and 3 in what? In less than a decade. So he's pretty much can say I can do whatever the hell I want to do at this point.
Rightfully
because look at everything that comes with the Cowboys. Troy Aikman won a championship. He's broadcasting. Look at Tony Romo. He ain't never won nothing. He's on a broadcast. Every Cowboy you look at has got something going for him.
Yeah, it's like
Cowboys.
It's like when you put that star on your helmet and you become like a popular Cowboy. The contract and money is good, like on the field, but you always be a Cowboy in the limelight, whether you're in the media or whatever else. And one more thing, Larry, before we get into the show about the Michael Parsons thing. Think about the value. What would you take if somebody came to this table and said, "Hey, I got 2 1s, a third, and a 6 for Patrick Surtain"?
2 1s, a 6 and a third. I don't know. I might have to take that.
I could argue that Patrick Surtain is more valuable than Michael Parsons.
Absolutely,
I could argue.
And I can agree with when Rob said Trey Hendrickson is a little more valuable to Cincinnati than Michael Parsons is to Dallas, because if you take Trey Hendrickson out this room, Joe Burrow winning 2 games. So, but nevertheless, Larry, that was my little tidbit to make you think about it. But you can go ahead, boss man. I'm gonna let you ride.
I mean, 12 sacks versus everybody else that didn't even have 6 sacks.
Yeah. But you gotta remember Sam Williams was hurt last year. You gotta remember though, Sam Williams was hurt last year. Dante Fowler left the Commander. Dante Fowler had a almost career year last year and came back over. He came back over. The most important part of that Cowboys defense is that secondary. That secondary has to be healthy, because you look at last year, when they give up big plays, they don't win. The Cowboys don't need to lead the league in sacks. They need to lead the league in pressures, because that secondary is good enough and decent enough, especially DeRon Bland, to make plays.
Speaking of pressures, I mean, you signed Osa Odighizuwa. I don't know off the top of my head how many pressures he's had over the last 2 years. I think I heard the number, but it was pretty up there. But you get him wrapped up for like the next 4 years or so.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So you trade for George Pickens. You
oh,
also pick up offensive line depth in Akeem Adeniji and then Sadiq Charles, Kyle Elam. You traded for him, right? You
yeah,
traded
they
for
traded.
Kyle Elam. You also traded for Kenneth Murray to add to the defense. Dante Fowler, as you mentioned. You also bring in Peyton Turner. Peyton Turner is like what, your sixth pass rusher?
That's what I'm saying. They're loading up on pass rushing for some reason. I mean, they're loading up on pass rushing, and you draft a young guy out of Boston College who I don't understand how he's fell that far, but hey,
He should have been a first round pick. Donovan Izaraku should have been a first.
Donovan Izaraku is that was as disrespectful, like I said, as what they did to Cooper last year out of the Iowa.
Remember we had him as late first round pick. So
he's good. Like he is good. There's no sitting here debating. Oh, is he good? Is he no, buddy. To get him in the second round at pick 44, you want to talk about a steal. And like I said, with Sam Williams coming back, well, I think Sam Williams, I believe Sam Williams went to Kansas. With that piece coming back, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good.
Rob, let's talk about your draft picks here. So, the first round pick, of course, you picked Tyler Booker out of Alabama.
Great pick.
Guard.
Great pick.
Second round pick, Donovan Ezaraku, who we just talked about, defensive end out of Boston College, and pick 44.
Great
Third round pick, cornerback, 76. You pick Siobhan Revel out of East Carolina.
Sneaky pick. If he can remain healthy, he'll be a good player.
Fifth round pick 149, running back Jaden Blue out of Texas.
I like that pick because he's physical. He just got speed and he's physical.
Is there any concern over the work ethic about him? Because I've been hearing something about him.
I don't listen. If I could, until I see you on the field and I can see what you got going on. To be in the NFL, you have to work hard. So if you're in the NFL, then you're doing something right. Maybe somebody there was bad source or whatever. If you're in the NFL, you're doing something right.
Other fifth round pick, linebacker Shamar James out of Florida, pick 152.
It's more of a depth pick. Don't see him really doing too much, but that's a nice depth pick.
Sixth round pick 204, offensive tackle Johnny Cornelius out of Oregon.
If you go to Oregon and play offensive tackle, offensive lineman, you can potentially play in the league. So I like his potential. Now, but before you say something else, I want everybody out there to go and look at all the great seventh round picks that became stars. This next pick might be that guy.
What's his name?
Toy.
Jake Toya.
Toya.
Amon, you usually my guy for this, man.
Yeah, you got me on this one.
Defensive tackle out of UCLA, and in the seventh round, pick 239, running back Phil Maffa out of Clemson, who I like the pick, and then Rob, you had to help me with this last one, defensive tackle, seventh round pick Tommy Akin.
Askabatu. Oh shoot, I messed up too. I said it earlier.
Akin Basetu.
Yeah. You know what? We gonna call him Tommy A. We gonna call him Tommy A.
Tommy A. out of Maryland, seventh round pick. So out of those draft picks, you as a Cowboy fan, out of those draft picks, which draft pick interests you the most?
Well, I like Tommy because he's a big guy. He had 32. He had a career high 32 tackles for 5 for loss, 1 sack. But as I said before, JT, my guy out of UCLA, I like him because he can stuff the middle. You know, the last time they got a late round guy was Odighizuwa out of UCLA. I think he's a very intriguing pick. All the running backs they picked, I believe, can make some type of impact. If not in Dallas, maybe somewhere else. Siobhan, listen, he's a guy out of East Carolina who's projected to be a first-round pick. If he can stay healthy, I think that he's the type of guy that can do some great things. But again, the second-round pick, Donovan E. Yeah, I'm just gonna start calling people the last name with a single letter. Dom E. and Tyler Booker. I love that, especially Tyler Booker. Check this stat out, guys. Booker had only 6 blown blocks on 740 blocking plays last season at Alabama. His blown block percentage was at 0.8%. It was second lowest in the SEC to Jake Slaughter's among players with at least 500 blocking plays. He gave up only 1 sack and 970 pass blocking snaps in 3 college years. So to do that in the SEC, plus go against other talent, especially I think he went up against Michigan in that Michigan attack. Think about that. So yeah, I like those 3 players. I like the draft overall. I think the draft was solid. I think they're loading up on defensive ends. I think they're loading up on the pressure. So I think that's good on their end.
Amon, what draft picks interest you the most out of this class?
I'm gonna go with 2. I'm gonna go with Siobhan Revel out of East Carolina. I don't know if you guys know his story, his navigating the draft, but if you got a chance to Google it and look it up, it's a pretty remarkable story. How he came from working when he was working to, being a second round pick. Pretty cool. And then my second favorite pick of this draft, I like the Tyler Booker and Donovan Ezaraku picks as well. Those are gimmies. But I actually like Phil Maffa out of Clemson. In the 7th round, big physical back. I think he's 6 foot 230 something.
Yeah,
Rob,
very physical, very physical runner. It could be one of those guys you could use one of those guys you could potentially use down in the red zone.
Yes,
that definitely can be a blocker for you if you need, because blocking at the running back position is a lost art, but it's very important and it's critical to your football team.
Yeah, he's a power runner. He runs between the tackles. I follow his career at Clemson. We all know about how good the Clemson running back is. He never got the attention, of course, of the recruits that they have there, but he was a pretty solid running back for his time at Clemson. So I expect him to do the same thing that he did at Clemson with the Cowboys. And don't be surprised if he don't make this 53-man roster and be RB 2, 3.
Yeah. I think what's his name, little guy. I can't remember his name right now. Deuce Vaughn. I think Deuce is good as gone, because Deuce had a lot of speed in college, man, but it hasn't translated to the league.
Yeah, his stature is concerning.
Yeah, exactly. So Deuce Vaughn could be on his way out, which, like I said, may not be a bad thing, because their running back group is a lot better than it was last year. They lose Rico Dowdle, of course, and he was a very important piece. He should have been used more in the playoffs a couple of years ago. He was hurt as well, maybe I think 3 or 4 years ago. But their running back room, especially when you having Javonte Williams in there, is just so much better than it was last year. And then their depth is so much better. So those young guys will be able to have an impact.
Speaking of the Javonte Williams pick, I know him pretty well. He done ran on the Raiders a bunch.
Well, damn, you had to put that in there.
I just had to.
Yeah, he done missed a bunch of games versus the Raiders too when he can't stay healthy. That's why he and Dallas been on his second or third team.
So in the first season, he had tore his MCL, ACL. He did a lot. So, but for him to come back that next season right after that was remarkable. So if Javonte Williams can get back into his rookie shape, I think this run game he would be added, as a big addition to the run game, along with the Jaden Blue that you have there and whoever else that you have here. We're about to look at that in a minute. But how do you feel about the Javonte Williams signing right there?
I think it's a decent signing. Like I said, is it earth-shattering? No, but the Cowboys need to just make sure they're running the football at a good pace. They have Miles Sanders as well, who is I think he kind of lost his edge a little bit in Carolina. He won't be an every down back, but he can come out and be a third down back, stuff like that, catching the ball at the backfield. But I think this Cowboys offense needs to become physical, and I think that's one thing that Coach Schottenheimer is going to bring, is a physical aspect to this team, and I think that he'll be an important part as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I think I like the addition of Javonte Williams. It's a low risk sign, you know what I mean? It's not like you broke the bank to get him there. You didn't get him. I don't think he had like a 1-year deal. Rob, help me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's not like you're really that invested in him. Mm-hmm. But like you said, when he was healthy in Denver, he was a handful to bring to the ground for sure. He just, for me, he just couldn't stay healthy and put a full season together. I think that's the only thing that's holding him back is injuries. But as far as the Cowboys perspective, low risk signing, it has some, can pay off dividends for you. So I mean, I'm all for it.
Rob, your wide receiver room.
Some money in this room, boy.
You traded for a wide receiver out there in Pittsburgh.
Let me say this. It's not y'all, because even though I was a long time Cowboys fan, Jerry Jones don't pay me nothing, so I'm just a bystander.
So this Jerry Jones actually made a move in the offseason trading for wide receiver George Pickens. How big of an impact can George Pickens make on this team this year, being that you already got CeeDee Lamb, who passed for what he received for over 1,000 yards the last 4 seasons? How big of an impact can George Pickens make coming over?
The impact is not George Pickens. The impact what George Pickens is going to do for everybody else. Now, check this out. Do you remember I told you the other day that the Cowboys' offense could be as explosive as the 99 Rams? You remember I told you that? I don't think you responded because I think you thought I was crazy. But you probably thought I was a little crazy. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's brewing that people don't understand. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It all relies on Dak Prescott. Not only do you have George Pickens, you got CeeDee Lamb, but that's not really what the sauce is right now. You got Schoonmaker, who doesn't even really get that much playing time. You got a sleeping giant in Stevens Jr., who's a tight end who's been hurt. If he finally gets on the field, he'll be dangerous. You got Ferguson. Now, here come the other pieces. You got Jalen Tolbert at your number 3 spot. Guy had 49 catches last year. Here's the wild card.
7 touchdowns too.
Huh?
7 touchdowns too.
Yeah, but here's the wild card though. Here's the wild card out of everything. If this guy plays well, that whole offense is going to run like a well-oiled machine. What are you looking at me like that for?
Because I got a feeling where you're going.
What am I saying?
Mingo.
Hey, I'm just being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. Listen, he's impressed in camp. He came from Carolina. He was a good receiver at Ole Miss. He was in Carolina. They a lot of times we've seen it. If you've seen these guys who come in, they don't get a lot of. They were struggling with Bryce Young because they were a young team, etc. Mingo has the potential to be very good in Dallas as maybe their 3rd, 4th. He's competing with Tolbert right now. He could take Tolbert's spot. Who knows? What I'm saying is you legitimately have 4 receivers who can actually do something. Then you got 3 tight ends, not just 1 with Ferguson. You got 3 tight ends. So what I'm saying is that you got those 2 outside guys, you got those inside. And you're talking about Pickens and his impact. Again, this has nothing to do with Pickens. This all has to do with Dak Prescott, guys. At the end of the day, I don't care about any of this other stuff. They've got the weapons. If the Cowboys go out and they do not at least put up 10 or 11 wins this year, and he does not, and they struggle. Let me put it to you like this. If they struggle and don't make the playoffs and the offense is poor and Dak struggles this year, he will be traded in the offseason. Okay? He will be traded, or they'll do something drastic. Let's say this season ends in disaster. The Cowboys will be getting another quarterback this year. In fact, here's the scary part for Dak. His replacement is on his own team.
I knew he was going to go there.
His replacement is on his own team. And secretly, I'm going to guarantee this right now, Jerry, Coach Schottenheimer, they're like, damn, we really want to start Joe Milton. But we can't because we got this guy with all this money on his books. He knows he needs the ball because he has the weapons. He's got the offensive line. So, yes, Pickens brings an aspect to this team that has not been seen in a long time. The Cowboys have weapons, guys. This is on Dak Prescott. Nothing to do with Pickens. This is all about Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones will push the cards in the middle of the table. What you going to do?
Come on.
I'm just saying.
I'm right there with them. It's just Dak.
Hey, Mom, before you go, man, can I stop you real quick? You look at Patrick Mahomes last year. He lost Hollywood Brown early. He lost his number 1 receiver early. This man still got his team to the Super Bowl, dog. They can say whatever they want to. This Cowboys receiver core ain't no joke, and everybody's under the age of 27. Yeah. Dog, I'm telling you, man. Go ahead, Mom, but I'm telling you, man. There's no excuses, brother.
Yeah, it's Dak. It's Dak. It has to be Dak because what else can you? What else do he need? You know, I know people make fun of Jerry said, "Hey, we going all in." Last year or year before last, but only signed like a special teams player.
Yeah, it was last year. Yep.
But what else do he need? You got a stable running back room. You got arguably two of the top 12 to 15 wide receivers in the league. You gave my boy Ferguson a brand new deal. Tolbert, Mingo. I mean, these weapons that Rob named off are not just anybody. They're going to make plays given the opportunity to. The defense is there. You like I said, you reload up. You gave a Diggy Zoo a contract. You got Fowler, Sam coming back off injury. Is Overshown still there?
Overshown is injured, but he will be back in the middle of the season.
He'll be back. You got Diggs. You got Bland.
And Amon, before you go on, man, I'm gonna say this. Y'all gonna look at me crazy. If that guy stays healthy, in a couple years, he's more valuable than Michael Parsons. Because when that guy came back healthy, that team changed.
Yeah, you got him.
Go look back. Go look at the tape, ladies and gentlemen. Go look at the tape. When he was there, his impact was undeniable. He made other players better, like Michael Parsons. But to your point, Amon, not only that, but you possibly have Josh Kelly, rookie out of Texas Tech. Who knows if he could flourish? You also got Paris Campbell, who could be one of your guys that could come in and just do a little small things here and there. I mean, man, and like I said, even in the tight end room, guys, you got John Stevens Jr., who has not even shown his full potential yet. He's 6'5", 221, is an athletic freak. You got Schoonmaker, and you got, and don't let me forget this, undrafted free agent out of the University of Virginia, Lafayette High School, Tyler Neville. I watched this guy play in high school. This guy potentially could be an underrated piece that you could watch for him in the preseason. I'm telling you, out of Virginia, Tyler Neville, tight end. In fact, last year, ACC Media Day, his quarterback told me about how good he was. Do you know that this guy went to Harvard out of Lafayette High School in Williamsburg and then transferred to UVA and was still killing it? I'm telling you, man, this team has got talent on it. And for him to go from Harvard to Virginia to the league, again, undrafted, I understand it. But this dude can play, man. I've seen him up close and personal.
Lafayette got some dogs, too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. 6'3", 250. Yeah, man. And look, here's the other thing, guys. I didn't even talk about this weapon they got. Not even the fact that they still got Hunter Lucky, who's probably one of the best fullbacks that nobody ever talks about.
Yeah.
He still got Hunter Lucky, and he's got some speed on him. So you got weapons galore. You got everything you want. This is on Dak, guys. You got everything. You got everything, man. It's
on Dak. It has to be on Dak. There's no way around it. Like Rob mentioned, and Larry, I'm gonna get this off before I let you go. The only way that there's changes if, like Rob said, something goes bad. It has to be like a catastrophic injury that did not make this thing go. And if we're sitting here in December, January, and the Cowboys are 6-something and 7-10, Dak's not there next year. And Joe Milton, get ready to see what you got, young buck.
I'm telling you guys right now, and me and Larry talked about this last year. Me and him will probably talk about it when we start our show up this Sunday, the Sunday Night Hype, one of the greatest football shows besides this one. This is 1A and 1A, greatest football shows ever, besides Rob John Sports Show.
Appreciate that, Rob.
Joe Milton, just watch Joe Milton. If he takes off, look, in the Cowboys' first preseason game, if he takes off, they might intentionally make Will Greer play the rest of the game that I'm making play. Because if he comes out and he explodes in these preseason games, the chatter's going to start. The chatter's going to start, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Trust me when I tell you, the chatter's going to start.
I can
It's the
believe.
reason the Patriots got his butt up out there because they knew that secretly he was better than the guy that was a starter.
I can believe that.
Yeah. There was a reason New England got him out the room because they're like, oh man, we just invested a top 5 pick in this dude, and this other dude in 7th round was better than that dude. Come on.
How what's the word I'm looking for? Relieved were you when you found out Tyler Guyton didn't tear anything?
I was relieved for him because he needs all the reps he can get. He's 6'8", his body's a little awkward. He needs all the reps he can get because he's another one's got to be careful because all the offense linemen they got in there, somebody can easily take a spot. Tyler Smith's the best offensive lineman they got. Don Beebe. And actually, guys, we look at Martin from last year, Zach Martin. Here's another secret nobody was talking about. And Mon, the Cowboys played better on the line when he wasn't in the game anymore.
Man,
ain't that crazy?
That's a tough one for me to believe, man. But hey, you watch more than I do.
Trust me when I tell you. Go back and look at the games. Go back and look at the games. Zach Martin, yes, great player, Hall of Famer, but he started to show signs of slowing down. Last year, when they did some different variations, put some other guys in there, they actually started playing better. A guy like TJ Bass out of where? Oregon, played really good football last year. Go back and look at the Washington Commanders game where they won 34-26. I think Zach Martin was hurt in that game. Their offensive line played a lot better. It's all about getting younger. And now, of course, the Robb Jones injury hurts them a little bit, but they got depth. So, but yeah, Tyler Guyton will be fine. He's 24 years old. He'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Tyler Smith at left guard, Cooper Beebe at center, Tyler Booker at right guard, Terrence Steele at right tackle. When he's healthy, he's playing pretty well.
And he has when he has his mind right.
How confident are you in this offensive line? I mean, I know you talked about that.
Confident. I have no worries. I absolutely have no worries. The only thing I have no worries. Like I said, we talk about the Cowboys being Super Bowl contenders. The only time I looked at the Cowboys Super Bowl contenders was since 2000 was 07, 08 when they lost to the Giants in 2016 with Dak, and 2015 when they lost to the Packers. I believe it was 2 years. They lost to the Packers in the playoffs, and they lost to the Packers next year, I believe, when Dak was there, when he came as a rookie. This team is not a Super Bowl contender, but this team is a division, maybe a wild card winner at most. That's how much confidence I have in this offensive line. Even a guy like Brock Huffman, even if he had to step in, he can play well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought, everybody looks and they said Zach Martin went out there, this team is going to, fall out. I don't think so. I think this offensive line is one of the better offensive lines. And by 2 years, they'll be the best offensive line in the National Football League. They're in the top 10 now. There's some better lines there. Of course, you got the Eagles. You got other lines that are a lot better. But in 2 years, they'll be one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League. But I have the utmost confidence in them. They're physical, they're nasty, and they get after people. And look at Rico Dowdle. Look at Rico Dowdle did last year. Nobody thought he was be a 1,000-yard rusher.
They don't respect 1,000 yards no more like they used to.
Hey, they may not respect it, but I challenge anybody to go put some pads on and go outside and do it.
Absolutely.
Go put some pads on. Go put some pads on. Hell, I'll even tell you this: go out to your local high school and try to run through a line. And I'm not talking about a regular high school. Go to a major high school where they got D1 players to try to run through the line. See what happens to you.
I think at this age, me and Amon, we don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm fried.
Yeah, I ain't doing it either.
This defense loaded, starting with the defensive line. With the edge, you got Dante Fowler. You bring him back as a Raku.
Hold on, Larry. Before you go, why would he leave Washington? I mean, they're Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
Why? Do you think?
But go ahead. Want to pay him.
That's been baffling me all season. But because he went back to his coach that everybody thought, oh, this is the coach that left from Dallas. He's gonna stay with him. He left. It just doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. Go ahead, Doman.
Mozzie Smith, who I think he needs to have a big season. Your guy from UCLA, Osa Digizua, who just got paid. Solomon Thomas. I love
Odigizua. I think he's one of the most underrated. I think he's still a very underrated player. He brings so much to the game. I love Odighizuwa.
And then we talked about Parsons, Marshawn Nealon, who was drafted a couple years ago, and Sam Williams, who you talked about. This defensive line has a lot of depth, and I believe in when you say this defense is going to be really nasty. And then when you get to the linebacker room, Kenneth Murray, you pick him up, vet, former first round pick. Maris Leofau, who I talked to you about him last year in the draft process, and I feel like he has to have a better second season. And then DeMarvion Overshown.
Once he gets back. But look, Larry and Amon, you're a football head like I am. You know as well as I know, man. Them Wisconsin football players can play some football. I'm telling you guys. And you gotta look at Eberflus. Eberflus is a defensive coach. And if it had not been for stupid errors last year, you can't put all on him. The Bears were actually playing decent defense last year. And I'm gonna give you his name. He brought over from Chicago, Jack Sanborn. Yeah. I like his game. Last year he had 35 tackles, 17 solo, 18 assisted, 1.5 sacks. He could be one of those guys, man, where it's like you could plug him in and he could do some decent things like this. Like they got some, doggish type dudes on this defense. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Even like a guy like a Buddy Johnson. I mean, he could come in, make some plays for you. I don't know, man. It's a team that is very interesting. They're probably one of the more interesting teams in the National Football League. And you bring back Damone Clark as well. He was supposed to have been special, but he's more of like a special teams guy, stuff like that. Yeah, man. So, and then Justin Barron out of Syracuse, he's I think he was undrafted. He's one of those guys, 6'4", 235. He's a dog coming out of Syracuse. He plays some good football. So, these are some names people don't know about, but they can be very impactful. That's why I say me and Larry talk so tough about the preseason, man. It's like, I think me and him are like, and probably you as well, one of those guys that we pay so much attention to the preseason. Not what the score is on the board, but the little intricacies on the field. What do we see? Little tendencies. And for the people who are in this business who say the preseason is not important, you don't need to be in this business.
You're a liar.
Yeah, you're a liar. You don't need to be in this business.
They don't
and I take it very seriously. I take it very, very seriously. Because let me tell you something. If you see, this isn't Madden. You can't just sim this. This is a process. This is a process. You got to love the process of football. This I know a lot of you clowns that don't like football because you don't want to watch the UFL, XFL. No, it's a process. You gotta love football. I love football. These guys up here, Larry, Amon, they love football. We will watch preseason because we love football.
So
I'm done now.
One question for Rob,
Yes,
Larry.
sir.
I'm gonna let
Yes,
you go.
sir.
I know it's a guy I've been watching for the Cowboys, Josh Butler. I know he tore his ACL last year, and it's shot he make the roster this year.
You damn right he'll make the roster. He was very effective before he got hurt. He was very effective. And I'll say this as well. Of course, Kalen Carson, who I know was one of Larry's favorite guys coming out of Wake Forest. He got hurt. Yeah. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks with an injury, but the development of a guy like an Andrew Booth, and his other thing, guys, nobody's talking about. You still got paid DeRon Bland. DeRon Bland made that defense better when he came back last year. So that's another limit Dallas is going to have. You look at everything else with them, their safety position. Their safety position, guys, does worry me a little bit because I look at the back end. When you look at Donovan Wilson, things like that. But I believe with Malik Hooker, Marquise Bell, and my guy Israel Mekabuka, he is a very underrated player that could make some plays. So they do have some speed back there. They definitely have some speed back there. You bring in Mike Smith Jr., who's undrafted free agent out of Eastern Kentucky. I mean, who knows what he can bring? I don't know. You look at Jonnu Thomas out of Georgia Tech. He's one of those guys that could make a little bit of impact if he gets an opportunity. So we'll see, man. But this defense should be good. This defense should be good. I'm not going to call it no top 5 defense or anything, but they definitely, I believe, won't be giving up players like they did to the Saints last year, getting blown off, stuff like that. So
yeah. Go ahead, Larry.
You guys ready to go into the schedule?
Huh?
Yeah, well, we looking. We 17-0 right now. Well, we looking over here, boy. But let me see.
No. Who was that?
Cowboys.
Oh no. This is no. They're no. That's what I'm saying. They're a good team. They're going to be a good team, but they're still the third best team possible. Well, listen.
Yeah,
Possibly.
we not about to do this with the Giants right here. We not.
Listen to me. Listen to me very close. What I'm about to tell you. As much as I've loved the Cowboys all my life, everybody knows I love me some Russell Wilson. It would make my life so happy for Russell Wilson to listen. Real quick.
Good night.
Let me just say this real quick. It would make me so happy for Russell Wilson to come out and make the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers to miss the playoffs again for 2 years in a row. I would sacrifice the Cowboys going 0-17, 0-18, whatever, just so I could see the Giants go to the playoffs. It would be so funny.
If they go to the playoffs, it's going to be a rookie leading them to the playoffs.
Who?
Jackson Dart.
Okay, you know what? Next topic.
Schedule, please, because we tripping now.
Amon, get your guy.
Yeah, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is over there.
He just upset that he's so much of a Sean Payton homer. He don't want to schedule. Go ahead, because we about to get off. We about to get off subject and have another 2-hour conversation.
Get to the schedule.
Go to the schedule. Yes.
Get to the schedule, brother.
So
Week 1,
Thursday, September 4th at 8:20, you face off against the Eagles. What a way for the Eagles! A first game for them to have their ring and the banner and get the rings presented to them in front of America's team. That was a statement right there. Week 2, you're at home against the Giants, so you open the season with 2 division opponents. Week 3, you play the Chicago Bears in Chicago. And week 4, you got a Sunday night football matchup against Green Bay at Dallas.
No. That's not a game. That's a rivalry.
It is.
That's a big time rivalry.
It definitely is, and Green Bay's been owning that here recently. Week 5, you're at the Jets. Week 6, you're at the Panthers.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
The problem the Cowboys got on 2 games, them revenge games. Because the last time the Cowboys see them 2 teams, they kind of smacked them. And those teams will be better this year than what they were.
Exactly. Didn't the last time the Cowboys played the Jets in New York, Sam Darnold had like a great game?
They play them in New York, and they were like, oh my God, I remember that game. Jesus Christ.
I was in Buffalo.
I don't even want to talk about that day because I know where I was. I know where I was that day. You know, I wasn't supposed to be where I was that day. But anyway, go ahead.
Then you're at Carolina, so you're seeing what Bryce is up to. Before week 7, you're at home against Washington, and then you face Denver, in which you haven't beat Denver since like '96. But we're not even going to go into that.
When they played in the Super Bowl one time, who won?
Yeah, that's too far. We ain't talking about that. And I know another team that got swept by Denver last year. We're not even going to talk about that. Then Monday night, week 9, you're at home against the Cardinals. That's always a tough one. Then you hit the bye week.
Hold on. Before you go, that's going to be a statement game where the Cardinals come out and win that game by 15.
I can see it.
Just saying it now.
Remember, you always talk about the Cardinals?
That's my point. I know the Cardinals are legit this year.
Then week 11, after the bye week, you go to the Raiders.
Woo!
You go to the Raiders.
The Raiders are going to be a tough out this year, and by next year they're going to be an even tougher out. In about 3 years, they're going to start to become contenders. They're going to keep building. The late 90s to 2000 Raiders are back. Don't look at me like that, Larry. The late 90s, when we saw the Raiders starting to build, they're going to be back because this is a bridge. Pete Carroll to the next coach. This is a bridge. I'm telling you right now, but hey, you got to believe me. The proof's going to be in the pudding. It's going to be the Raiders and Broncos division in the next 3 years. Watch what I tell you. We're going to be the 90s all over again.
Yeah, I'm asleep on that one. Week 12, at home against Philly. Week 13, Thanksgiving Day. The second game, you play in Kansas City and Jerry's World. Week 14, Week 14, Thursday night football at Detroit, followed by a Sunday night football matchup. The next week, you play in Minnesota.
Oh,
Week
God.
16, you're facing the Chargers. Week 17, you're at Washington. And week 18, you're at the Giants for the last game. I just want to say, how do you have Arizona on Monday night, hit the bye week, and then you got Vegas on Monday night? That was quite interesting.
No. I'll give it 11 I'll give them 11 wins out of this schedule. 10 to 11 at the most. If they lose anything between 10 and 11, it'll be a failure of a season. They'll probably get a favorable matchup in the division round and in the wild card round, but I have them losing to either the Eagles or the Cardinals in the divisional round. So I have the Cardinals beating them twice. Got the Eagles beat them for the third time. They're not beating the Eagles. They're not better than Philadelphia. Okay, they're not better than Philadelphia. Washington is a type of team where it could go left really quick. And the reason I'm saying this is because they made a lot of good strides last year. But if you go back and look at last year, if that Hail Mary hadn't gone through against Chicago's season could have flipped just like that. So one thing I know for sure, and this Terry McLaurin thing is not getting enough credit that it deserves. This Terry McLaurin thing is very serious. The Eagles are the best team in the NFC besides the Cardinals and Rams. And they will most likely be in the NFC Championship game once again.
Yeah, we're going to
So
see.
I see 10 to 11 wins, and that's about it. But this schedule is not as daunting as I would think most other schedules are. It's not as daunting. Put you like that. And the games down the stretch against like Minnesota, the Chargers, I'm not worried about those teams. Because
you're not worried about J.J. McCarthy, are you?
No, and I don't think anybody should be either. Because you look at the NFC North. Hey, if you're in the NFC North right now, right? If you're the Lions, are you worried about J.J. McCarthy? And when you're getting your lead pass rusher back, if you're the Green Bay Packers, I mean, if you're even the Bears, because the Bears will be better. Minnesota's a really good team, but we all know what Minnesota does every other year. We all know the Minnesota Vikings are the Phoenix Suns of the NFL. Just being honest. That's bad to say, but we know who they are.
Tough. That's tough, man.
We know who they are. Every other year, every other decade, they do something good and then they fall on their face. I'm not worried about J.J. McCarthy at the least. If J.J. McCarthy comes out and plays great, I will give him the greatest high five and tell him I'm sorry. But until I see it, I just don't believe in it.
And I'm glad you said that. And that's how I feel about this Cowboys schedule. You got them going, what, 10 to 12, you say, Rob? 10 to 12?
Well, let me say this. I have them going at worst 10-7.
Okay.
But at their worst, they could be a 5-win team. No, not 8. Worse than that. Not worse. No. Worse than that, because it could go left really quick. Because I'm telling you guys, if Dak has regressed any, and this defense does not show up, and Michael Parsons doesn't play hard, because for whatever reason, there's a good chance. Because look, guys, this schedule is going to be tough out the gate. The Eagles are going to. Let's go back to the schedule here. I'm gonna go back. It's not a daunting schedule, but it's also one of those schedules that you can't sleep on either. Because let's be honest here, the Eagles are not going to be easy. They're not beating the Eagles. Okay. You look at the Giants. The Giants' defense is going to be better. Their offense is going to be decent. Not great, but decent. The Bears, you don't know what you're getting from the Chicago Bears. The Packers always get up for the Cowboys. Let's just be totally honest. We don't know what this Jets team's going to look like. That defense is really good. They got offensive weapons, and you know I'm a Tyrod Taylor fan. And yeah, you know if I think if he gets in there, he's going to play some really damn good football. Carolina, they've gotten better. We don't know what they're going to look like, okay? The Commanders week 7, we don't know. They're not beating the Broncos, okay? Bo Nix is going to have about 320 on them. They're not beating the Broncos, okay? They're not beating the Cardinals. You look at the Raiders, Ashton Genty. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I can't tell you. They're not beating the Eagles in Week 12. Kansas City, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. Can they beat them? Probably. I don't know. The Detroit Lions, that's Week 14. They're going to make sure. That's on a Thursday night, 70-30 Detroit. Minnesota, they can beat them. They can beat the Chargers at home. The Commanders at the Commanders on a Thursday on Christmas Day, that's going to be difficult. Then you end off with the Giants. We don't know what the Giants are going to look like. So, yeah, 10 wins at the most. But worst case scenario, 5 wins, and Dak is no longer starter going into next year.
Yeah, so you had 10 wins at the most, 5 wins at the worst. I'm at 10 wins at the most, 8 at the worst for me.
I got 5 at the worst because I'm telling you, man, this train could go off very bad.
It very well could be, but I just think the roster is too talented for them to win 5 games.
But who does it? But who does it go back to, Amon? It goes back to one man.
Well, we all know at number 4.
It goes back to him. He has to. If it doesn't, this team is not going to be successful, and it's going to be bad going into next year.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say they win around 8 to 10. On the high end, 10 there'll be a wild card if everything goes right. And like you said, there are going to be some tough games in there.
Yeah,
and Dak can't have no mental lapses.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But if he has those mental lapses to where he just let the game get away from him and they can't do nothing but throw the ball to get back into it and let the defense pin their ears back and go get him, it's gonna be a long season. But I just think 10 games if everything go right, being at it's it's a tough schedule, but if everything goes wrong, 8 wins, I think the roster is talented enough to where, hey, shoot, Pickens can get you a game if he go crazy. Mike can get you a couple games if he go crazy. All that guy do is just keep the car on the road, which we know, hey, the wheels on the bus can definitely go off of him at any time. So I'm gonna say 8 to 10 wins, and I'm wild card, losing to whoever in the wild card realm, like the Eagles or either the Rams or somebody of that nature.
Yeah.
I can see.
I'll give that.
I can see 8, 9, 10. What are you saying, Rob?
I said I'll give that to you because, like I said, this team is going to be really good, but they're going to be good, but like I said, it all depends, man. It all depends, and we just have to see what's going to happen because a lot of this is contingent on the Washington Commanders. If the Washington Commanders come out and are better than they were last year, and if Debo gets I've said this, guys, and I'll stick at this. I've made a lot of predictions in this offseason. If Debo Samuels comes back and is anywhere near what he was 3 years ago in San Francisco, if he gets back to form and he's on a revenge tour, nobody's beating that team. With that quarterback and with Terry McLaurin healthy, and they can somehow get some type of, I'm not gonna say nobody can beat them, but man, it's gonna be very tough.
They're gonna be a tough out for 16
They're gonna be
weeks.
Very 17. Tough out.
Absolutely.
And again, it all and Larry, that's something. You know what? Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna release topics tomorrow, but guess what? Right now, I'm making it breaking news on our show in the Sunday Night Hype on Sunday night, and we'll give you guys the time later on. Who's got more pressure on them coming on this year? Debo Samuel or Dak Prescott?
Great question.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the questions we're going to have Sunday night.
Great question.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can see about 8, 9, 10 wins out of this team.
Anything less, somebody gonna get traded or canned. Telling you. Because Jerry ain't playing.
Let's go to more or less before we get up out of here.
Be gentle.
Don't hurt her bad. Don't hurt her bad over there.
Thank you, Mom.
Dak Prescott, of course, he had the injury, playing 8 games. He had 1,978 yards and 11 touchdowns. Does he go more or less?
More. Let's get it out of the way. More. He has to have more. He has to. If he doesn't, then Joe Milton will have it. So he better.
CD Lamb, 1194. It's a big one because you got some help on the outside. 1194 in the yards and 6 touchdowns. Does he go more or less?
If he has more, then that means great. He gets his stats. If he has less, that means they're having success because they're spreading the ball around to everybody. So I'm gonna go less for them to have success. Yep.
Jake Ferguson.
His biggest thing is touchdowns. He needs to increase the touchdowns.
Jake Ferguson, 59 catches and 494 yards. Does he go more or less?
I'm gonna go more. I'm gonna give Ferguson about 75 catches this year because think about it again. You have the 2 outside guys. What opens up Amon?
The middle of the field.
The middle of the field. And he's going against these linebackers and these safeties who cannot. And we've seen Kelsey. Kelsey don't got the best speed, but he's got that size advantage. So I'm going to go 75 catches.
If Ferguson got what he had last year and he got paid, boy, they look real bad, boy. But
yeah,
Micah Parsons, 12 sacks. Does he go more or less?
Less. Because I don't know what to Larry. I don't know what to expect from him. And here's the thing, guys. Sometimes sacks don't always mean everything. Micah Parsons, sometimes the pressures can be more important. The Cowboys getting sacks, getting 10 sacks from Sam Williams, getting 10 sacks from Dante Fowler, the rookie out of Boston College getting, you know what? If the rookie out of Boston College got double-digit sacks, they'll be more impactful. Because come playoff time, guess what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you want everybody to eat. That's the thing. Sometimes one guy getting all the stats doesn't really equate to everything. You want everybody. And it's bigger than the sacks. I want to see Michael Parsons stop the run more.
But to your question, Larry, you said more than 12? Or more? What was it? More than 12?
More than 12, yeah.
Yeah, more or less than 12.
I'm gonna say for his sake, he has to be right there at 12 or more. Because if you want to get paid like TJ, Max, Miles, and those boys, you gotta be there. I'm not saying that if he didn't get that, he wouldn't get 41 a year. He'll get it from somebody.
Let me ask you, and Amon, to your point, who did Trey Hendrickson have with him last year?
Nobody.
Nobody. He's got Sam Williams. He's got all these he's got pass rushers galore. If he wants to really be looked at as one of the elite pass rushers in the league, he's got to have 18. Because if you do double team him, everybody else is going to open up for everybody else. 100%. I know he gets double teamed, but I know he gets double teamed, Larry. But Larry, I think me and you discussed this. I've seen times where he's been single covered. Don't get me started with Trent Richardson on what Trent Williams did to him a couple of times. I'm just saying.
Ain't no shame in getting walled by Trent Williams, boy.
It's not. But if you're that dude, you don't give a damn who's in front of you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I expect him to be Charles Haley or anybody like that coming off.
Why not? Why not? He wants $50 billion. You better be Charles Haley.
That's true.
You better be. Everybody compares him to Lawrence Taylor. You better be Lawrence Taylor.
Can we stop that?
And that's what I'm saying. I don't get that. I hate that so much because there is no comparison. There's no comparison.
I know this is off subject, but we got to stop the LT comparisons to every pass rusher that come into the league.
Exactly.
You can't.
Abdul Carter was another one, right?
But no, bro. That's why LT ain't giving his number. Like, are you serious?
LT was a different.
You know what that man was doing before the game, and then came to the game. You know what he was doing.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. As great as Michael Parsons is, he ain't even as great as Javon Curse was at this point in his career.
Man.
Yeah, Javon Curse was different. Michael Parsons needs to be different. Right now, I need to see difference. I need to see him tackling not only quarterbacks but running backs, tackles for loss, and 43 combined tackles after having 84 your first year is unacceptable.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna say he cranks it up a little bit. I'm gonna say
he better crank it up.
Like I'm gonna say he'll be right there at 14. If he get to 14, okay, yeah. But anything less than 12 or only like 12 or 13, that's unacceptable. Sorry.
Yeah. Came in the league in 2021, 13 and a half, 14 and 12, even missing the games last year. So I want to say more. I'm gonna say more too.
Absolutely, it's in there for him to hit that 16, 17.
But again, guys, I'd be more impressed if he had if he had 80 combined tackles and tackles for loss. That you guys know I am. I love sacks. Everybody loves sacks, but I'm big on tackles for loss and stuff like that. I'm big on that.
That's why I'm like huge on that's why I say people want to argue about, Max Crosby. He ain't okay. What? Go look at his TFLs per year. See what happens.
Exactly. And Michael
Parsons
Parsons
somebody in the backfield.
Michael Parsons has the speed to cover your best tight end. So he needs to have more variety. He has the speed. He runs a 4.4, man. Come on now.
52.5 sacks in 4 seasons. That's crazy.
Yep.
So Rob, any final predictions that you have for this team before going into 2025?
I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but it's gonna be interesting team. But but this is my plea to Stephen A. Smith, ESPN, Fox Sports 1. Please give other teams some love, because the Cowboys are not the only team in the NFL. There are other teams that are good. There are other owners. In fact, you know what I heard today, guys, as I was coming back home today? We need to start talking about the Saints being a badly ran organization, because every time I look, they're in the red. Every time I look, they're not making good decisions.
Oh, you should have go back and look at the Saints episode.
Yeah, all those numbers we were calling out.
And that's what I was about to give y'all credit for. You guys, this 32 team, 32 days has pointed out some crappy teams and their crappy dealings. 32 teams in 32 days. Give yourselves a round of motherfucking applause, because y'all been doing the damn thing. And the last thing I got to say is this: Stephen A. Smith, get off Jerry Jones' jock, you son of a gun.
My players to watch this year: Tyler Guyton. Once he gets back, Dak Prescott. He's got to stop being hurt, and we'll see how that goes. And then DeMarvion Overshown.
Yep.
Whenever he gets back, he's had some. Didn't he have some kind of reps in training camp done?
Yeah, he did, but he'll be back middle of the season. But once he gets back, they just got to hold the fort down. He gets back, definitely.
So those
my 3 players, Dak Prescott. I think that we still have to keep a close eye on George Pickens to see how he adjusts to come into this offense. I think that's going to be very important. And my last guy is probably JT. I'm gonna give it JT out of UCLA. Big defensive lineman, man. He has the opportunity, if he plays well, to even go over a guy like Mozzie Smith. No, you know what? Let me change that. Mozzie Smith, because he's going to be critical. So Mozzie Smith is my top 3. So Dak, George Pickens, and Mozzie Smith.
Mozzie Smith got a big target on his back. He's got to improve this year.
Yes.
Amon, you got any players you watching?
No, man, I don't have no players to watch. I want to see, not Deron Bland, but what's my boy Pickens? He's acclimated into this Cowboys offense. I know, if Pickens comes over, CD's going to send a whole lot of one-on-ones. He's going to be able to eat. So I want to see Pickens, and I want to see the secondary. And like Rob pointed out earlier in the show, that back 4, the safeties. How do they handle, getting with the pressures that the Cowboys are going to generate, just being who they are? Can they capitalize on interceptions and stuff like that?
And let me say this too. You remember, guys, a couple of years ago when they went to Tampa after Tampa won the Super Bowl, and they had an impressive game, and they said, "Hey, we lost this game. We're here." Even though I think they're going to lose to Philadelphia, they got to come out impressive. If they come out losing by 20, 30 points, 15 points, and they get blown out, it's a mismatch. That's a bad sign. Even though I think they'll lose the game, that first game against the Eagles, even in a loss, has to be impressive.
Yep. At least show up.
You have to show up. You have to.
They putting the ring in your face on it's something that you haven't did in 30 years on opening night. You got to answer. You got to answer. And then my rookies to watch, I got Jaden Blue, Tyler Booker, and Donovan Ezaraku, who I
got the same as you. I got the same as you. And then Jake, but you know what? Honestly, I can't really put a cap on it, Amon and Larry. I think all the rookies are important to watch. I think all the rookies got an opportunity to do something. So, especially my guy JT out of UCLA, I think they all got an opportunity, because this is a decent class. But I agree with you, especially as a rinker out of Boston College. Amon, man, that guy's good. You hit the nail on the head. He was a first-round pick to win the second round.
Yes, sir. So if that's not anything else, I think we did a great job, an hour and 19 minutes covering this team from top to bottom. Rob, you did a
Yeah.
great job as usual.
I'm
Mon, you did
going.
a great job as
I'm
usual.
going to see Superman, but I'm a Batman fan, so I'm going to boo Superman.
enjoy the rest of your vacation, brother. And everybody will be back probably with the Giants tomorrow. So until then.
And don't forget, guys, Sunday Night Hype on Sunday night.
Sunday Night Hype this Sunday. What we going? 7, 8, 7?
We're going 7:00 Sunday
7
night.
o'clock.
The topics
So-
will be released tomorrow. It's going to be the greatest show of all time.
Good night, everybody.
Deuces.